Welcome, everyone, to the wildly opinionated news hour, Todd's World. I'm Todd. Carrie is with me.
Hello.
We're your hosts today and every day at Todd's World through the wonderful world of Todd's World.
Delight yourself in Todd's World.
Delight yourself in Todd's World. Carrie is with me, and she is coming off the flu.
Yep, or something.
That's the COVID. You thought it was the COVID.
Possibly.
Because you didn't get your boosters.
I know.
If you only had gotten your boosters, you'd be dead by now. You'd have nothing to worry about. That's what. Just one more body piled on the sidewalk.
Right. That's so bad. Excuse me.
Safe and effective. You got through it, though.
Yeah, we've emerged from the other side and through the other side, and we're hanging in there.
You are.
I was the last one of the three of us in the house.
To get it and get over it, probably.
Yeah, like we're all kind of followed the same. The only thing, although I'm, hacking right now, is my boys have got a really bad cough, and mine isn't nearly as bad as theirs, just occasional.
Yeah.
So hopefully I've escaped it.
Hopefully you'll make it through.
So, yeah.
You paid a little attention to the news this week, or were you too sick?
I did. Nope, I paid a little bit of attention. Well, we had a lot going on.
There was a lot going on. The trannies were taking over the news cycle this week. But it started, at least in Michigan, with the U of M hospital, University of Michigan, and they're one of the bigger, obviously, hospitals and research hospitals and everything in the state.
Right.
And they announced that they are going to end all gender transition surgeries for minors, is I believe what they ended. I think if you're an adult, you can still cut off whatever pieces of you you'd like to cut off.
I mean, that's unfortunate, but I just say 3 cheers for common sense. Let's not do that to kids.
And so we had a state rep who's from down at the southeast kind of area of Michigan. Her name is Carrie Reinigans, and down by like Jackson, that area. We gerrymander, so who knows where it goes. Her district goes all the way up to the UP somehow. But anyway, she represents a lot of people, and she's real worried about trans kids, as I think maybe we all should be. But let's hear what Carrie Reinigans. She wants to reassure tranny kids. That options will still be available for them.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, State Rep Carrie Vance here, and I am recording a video today to talk to you, trans kids here in Michigan. I want you to know that the care you might want for gender affirming care is legal in Michigan, and it's still continuing in a wide variety of places. You may have heard that the University of Michigan is going to stop doing some of the safe and effective care. They're choosing to do that. The grown-ups at the University of Michigan Hospital are not under court order or anything.
I don't know what's going on behind her. She's talking to a bunch of trans kids.
Scared of losing millions and millions of dollars from Medicare and Medicaid, which pay a lot of services at the University of Michigan. And if they don't get those dollars, they can't provide any care.
You heard the trans kids behind her.
I'm sorry. She is literally talking to the kids. She referred to the other people as the grown-ups. Some grown-ups?
Right. She's talking to the kids, the trans kids.
What is wrong with this woman? I'm sorry. Guess what, Carrie? What's her name?
This is who she's talking to, the trans kids. This is how they come in. They come in hot. Okay. So,
oh my gosh.
Did you hear about...
Wait a second. I'm sorry. What is her name? Carrie what?
Carrie Reingold. She's very, very worried about the trans kids not being able to shoot up Catholic schools. Because if they don't get their hormones, who's to say if we can enrage them enough to shoot up little Catholic praying school children?
Right. If we also don't fuel their delusions, who's to say that they're not going to avoid the mental care that they might probably need?
You saw that the shooter for Minnesota was another trans person, and this unfortunately is becoming a problem out there.
Yeah.
Let's hear what Mike Benz has to say, a little recap.
The Denver shooter was trans, the Aberdeen shooter was trans, the Nashville shooter was trans, the Georgia shooter was trans, the Philadelphia shooter was trans, the Uvalde shooter was trans, the Colorado shooter was trans, and now the Minnesota shooter was trans. I think one of the things that you see being pointed out by the Walsh types is that even if there is no clear ideology, there is something in the water with the untouchable nature of the trans identity until just the past really year that you could even talk about it frankly, and what appears to be a kind of underlying mental instability that tends to disproportionately give rise to these school shootings.
You think that there's some mental disability, some problems?
Listen, Todd, I'm so glad you just played that because I saw that list. That list of one after another of these shootings done by these troubled people. And, you know, we've said for a long time, those of us who are okay with the right to bear arms legally here in the U.S., that there are some mental issues, you know, there are mental issues with these people who just decide to take guns and go shoot up a church or shoot up a grocery store, whatever it is. But this right here, what he just listed is, I'm sorry, it's a trend that I can't believe anyone would ignore. And it's nothing against trans people as human beings.
You don't think anybody would ignore it?
Trans people belong here. We need trans people.
You don't think anybody would ignore it?
That
We
lady.
need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love.
I think she's
doesn't
got a
know.
lot to say.
She doesn't. I'm telling you, if you listening have never seen that before, that is not edited by Todd.
That's a
That is
real life
woman.
Nebraska senator. She's a state senator from Nebraska. That one
Senator?
is.
Okay. She was just like going off, and that's not a loop. She goes on for a while like that. Mm-hmm. It's like crazy.
And this was CNN's biggest concern. This is
Okay.
This is Jake Tapper. You know, he recently found out that Biden was dead his entire presidency. He wrote a whole book about it. He didn't even know.
Didn't even know that we had a corpse running the show.
The best dressed corpse in America.
What did Jake Tapper say about?
But since she identifies as a female and wants her name to reflect that identification, was underage, it's now Robin West. Another piece of the puzzle as to who the shooter was. The Minneapolis Star Tribune says, according to court records, because there's been some confusion about what the shooter's name was.
Yes.
Robin Westman's mother applied to change her child's name in 2019. It was at one point Robert Paul Westman.
Correct.
But since she identifies as a female and wants her name to reflect that identification, was underage, it's now Robin West.
The most important thing we can do with mass shooters is make sure we get their pronouns right.
Yeah, make sure their names are reported properly when.
This is Robert/Robin.
Tragic story.
Once this young man decided to become a woman, this is what happened.
Yeah, what? It's so awful. And I know we're like joking. We're joking here. It's so awful, Todd.
It's horrible.
Like I couldn't even talk about it. My mom brought it up. I was like, I can't. In the middle of the stress of house stuff and whatever, I was like, I can't even talk about that right now.
Yeah. Now you got me playing
I know. Now
the heat sequence, the heat
I knew
shootout
we would
sequence
talk
over.
I knew we would talk about it. It's okay. I just couldn't at that time. I was really done. But
Here
it's so
she is.
awful. So terrible.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, if you run the math on it, trans kids are worth probably like what, 100, 200 Catholic kids apiece. I mean, to our government. Like
To some.
Unfortunately,
To some.
you know, yeah.
Yeah.
They don't even know. They don't know why this. They have a manifesto. They have a journal filled with things, filled with drawings of him looking into a mirror at some demonic presidents and some weird language. But here's the police chief. This is the police chief of Minnesota. They don't know why he did it. They have no idea.
So right now we don't have a clear motive to establish for why he did this at the church today. We're obviously open to every possibility. And we're hopeful that once we are able to go through the scene, all of the evidence that's collected,
they might find something.
Be able to better provide answers for our community.
Yeah.
And we wonder. We are not a serious people. We're not a serious country. We're not serious people.
Well, I was going to say just a small percentage of the people are not serious.
The people in leadership in these cities are not serious people.
Well, no.
They can't even recognize a pattern. They can't recognize the basic. This is their response.
You matter. You.
But a basic pattern.
The Denver shooter was trans. The Aberdeen shooter was trans. The Nashville shooter was trans. The Georgia shooter was trans. The Philadelphia shooter was trans. The Uvalde shooter was trans. The Colorado shooter was trans. And now the Minnesota shooter was trans. I think one of the things that you see being pointed out by the Walsh types is that even if there is no clear ideology, there is something in the water with the untouchable nature of the trans identity until just the past really year that you could even talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, and yet there's this woman in Minnesota. She's in politics, and she's in the government of the state of Minnesota. She released a video, and you hear all that, and you hear that sort of example, and she comes out and talks about the unhinged gun owners in America.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She refers to legal, or law-abiding gun owners as unhinged.
We are. And the other problem is the guns just start shooting people. I mean, the guns, you can lay them out, you can have them unloaded, you can keep them like in a safe. But man, the first time that the gun even senses that there's a tranny kid within a mile range, it just starts shooting. It just starts going. We got to have a rational conversation about trannies and tranny violence in this country.
Someone needs to step. So what did Jake Tapper say? He didn't.
He just got the pronouns right. He was mostly worried about letting us know what the pronouns were.
Okay.
If you want somebody who actually wants to give you like a real idea of what's going on, here is the Secretary of Health and Human Services, Mr. Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Okay.
Who makes a good point. Many good points.
I certainly consider mass shootings a health crisis, and we are doing for the first time real studies to find out what the etiology of that is. And we're looking for the first time.
I have an idea.
These kind of mass shooting people have.
I have an idea where we should start looking.
I was a kid, we had shooting clubs at our school. People, kids, my classmates, other people would bring a .22 rifle with their guns to school and park it in the parking lot. Nobody was shooting. So there's never been a time in America in the history of humanity and people walked into a crowd, into a church or a movie theater or a school or a crowd of strangers and just started randomly shooting. It's happening in our country. It's not happening around the world. And there are many other countries that have comparable levels of guns that we have in this country. We had comparable levels in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, and people weren't doing that. Something changed, and it dramatically changed human behavior. And one of the culprits we need to examine is whether the fact that we are the most over-medicated nation in the world, and that a lot of those are psychiatric drugs that have black box warnings on them that warn of suicidal and homicidal ideation. So we are doing those studies right now for the first time.
And we're shocked and appalled that when you pump an entire generation full of psychiatric drugs, when you pull everything that resembles God, a foundational morality, everything else out of the school systems, when you pull it out of culture altogether.
Out of culture, they took it out wherever they could.
And you tell everybody, do whatever is good in your own eyes. That's what you need to do. You just need to, whatever you feel like. You feel like a girl? Put on a dress, Johnny.
Yep.
I know he's taking drugs. He seems a little angry. We don't know why, but
he just needs address.
Yeah. If we can just affirm him,
Mm-hmm.
if we can offer him some gender affirming care.
Yeah.
You, trans kids here in Michigan, I want you to know that the care you might want for gender affirming care is legal in Michigan.
That's our leader's response.
Yeah. That's really disturbing.
And you wonder why we have a problem. Now, I don't mean RFK. I think RFK's onto something. What do you think? What do you think is causing all of it? What was going on here? We don't see this. It's a historical anomaly, and it's something of a worldwide anomaly to the United States.
Well, I think we can look all the way back to, the very first mass school shooting was Columbine, was it not?
That's the one I remember that got all the pub.
And those young men were on a bunch of drugs, and
I think you're right, a bunch of SSRIs and everything.
Yeah, and it's like I just think it's irresponsible to ignore the commonalities. I mean, it's what we do.
Well, no, the most important thing is to affirm. And if people think if a man thinks he's a woman, he gets to put on a dress, he gets to dress like a woman, we have to call him a woman, and then he gets to beat the shit out of our daughters in sports. That's the right response, according to what we've been told in America for the last, 7, 8 years?
Now, I was going to say, you and I don't agree with that. Lots of people don't agree with that.
But it's been shoved down our throat for some reason.
Oh, yeah.
Why do you think? Here's what I wonder. Do you think it's just a coincidence? Just happened. I don't know.
Just happened that it's being shoved down our throats, or that the shooting.
Well, what do you think is at the root of all of this? Is what I'm wondering. What's your opinion, Carrie? I mean, you're the co-host of the amazing, wildly opinionated news hour, so I feel like your opinion matters a lot more than Jake Tapper's.
Well, I don't know. I don't have a book out about the corpse president, but I don't know, Todd. I gotta say that I think that there's evil at work in our world.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that there's definitely, evil forces have gotten a foothold in dividing us on these issues. And I think that some people just with their insane, I'm going to say unhinged hatred of anything traditional, anything conservative, and, and just their hatred of Trump has just bled into everything else, and that it's blinded them from looking at common sense issues such as, hey, maybe we shouldn't be pumping hormonally, driven drugs into young kids before they've
puberty blockers.
Yeah, before they've developed.
Sterilizing them for all intents and purposes.
I just can't come up
cutting
with
their
any
breasts off.
Reasonable, rational, explanation or justification for doing that to kids. And I'm sorry, my daughter, when she was little, said she was a mermaid. It was like, okay, she's a mermaid today.
You didn't cut her legs off?
No.
What?
I know.
Well, you weren't affirming her mermaidness then.
And I mean, it's like, where did this line between reality, where, we're supposed to be protecting our kids and all that. So I don't know. It's everywhere. But I just think that the pervasive hatred of someone like Trump has just caused them to fight, just to expand that divide and fight the other side with whatever they've got. And they've lost common sense. They're completely derailed of anything normal. I don't know. It just isn't. I don't know.
Well, we also do, and this is a good time to promote it. We do Beers with Jesus, which is another podcast that we do. It drops on Wednesday. We drop the Wildly Opinionated News Hour on Tuesdays. Every week in Beers with Jesus on Wednesdays. In Beers with Jesus, we just walk through the story of the Bible. We explore the story of the Bible. We started with Jesus. Now we're in Acts. You should listen if you don't. You should give it a shot. It's not your typical kind of Christian type podcast.
No,
I guess.
It's different.
I've been let know for sure.
Yeah, really. You are not really mainstream there, Todd.
I found that out. But anyway, people should come listen to that. And then also you should check us out on the socials. Todd Allen, or Todd's World 2023. You can find me at Todd Allen on Facebook or Instagram, whatever. Put up all the shows there. I try to put the shows up on every different platform, so you can watch it on X, you can watch it on Facebook, you can watch it on YouTube, you can watch it on Spotify, you can watch it on Substack, Rumble, everywhere. We are everywhere.
When you said Rumble, I thought that was for a second was a dating app. I was like, what?
There is a dating app. What is it called? Bumble or
Bumble.
something?
I think that's what my brain did. But I was like,
I've never been on Bumble, but yeah, I did know.
wait, we're on a dating app? Why?
So anyway, we're everywhere. You can find us there.
Lots of places.
But we also we hold a Christian perspective, unapologetically, which is a problem in this particular. Wait, and if we're any more loud and proud about it, we may have this outside our freaking house.
Oh my gosh!
But what I think, do you think that any of it is spiritual attack, maybe even like a nationwide spiritual attack?
I wouldn't be surprised, especially so you were talking briefly about that drawing in the kids the recent shooter in his notebook. He's looking in the mirror and there's this demonic figure, but I mean that demonic figure looks like, who's it called, Baphomet?
Oh, I don't know. You're probably right.
Oh my gosh.
That rings a bell. Whatever you just said rings a bell, and I don't know why.
It's like a horned, a horned goat head in a robe kind of business. It's terrifying. Like, that's some serious shit.
Well, and he had like this language in there that was like I mean, it wasn't a normal language. It was some, but I think he even had like a way to decode it or something. It was kind of weird.
Holy crap.
It is interesting that in the Bible, whenever demonic presences are speaking, whether they're speaking with Jesus or speaking with Paul or speaking with whoever, they generally describe themselves. Their preferred pronoun usage is they, them, we, us.
Oh.
Isn't that kind of interesting?
That is interesting. Yeah, because it's usually like a host of them.
Yeah. Well, and even if there's not, that's kind of how they respond. They don't. It's not individualistic. See,
Right.
I think that's the great lie. The great lie of the devil, horns, hoofs, and all. The great lie of the devil is that we can be like God. Right?
Right.
And that lie is that it's with the world, it's with the spirit of the age, it's rejecting God that you find that you can truly be yourself. You can do what you want, you can find your individualism. But it's not true, because it's a lie. The farther that you progress down that road, the more everything becomes group talk, group think, group everything. And you can see that in the woke. I mean, let's be honest, you can see it in the Dems, the Devil's Party. I'm just kidding. Kind of.
Some days it feels like that right now.
But they don't. Individuality doesn't flower as you go along that road further and further from God.
Right.
It reduces. It's as you move into God and into what He's created you to be that we even find our true personality, that we find our true individuality. But see, they lie about the whole thing.
Yeah.
And so that's why so many of these attacks look the same. I really think they're demonic. I think that you could make the case that these young kids, or these kids, are the devil's stormtroopers. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Being turned into, and I'm not saying they may be unwitting at some point.
I don't think they're like, hey, I feel like.
I mean, you have to give yourself over, I think. So what's what? I don't know.
Right.
What I know is
they're vulnerable, though. They're vulnerable.
Yeah, I think made vulnerable by our culture, by our schools, by parents.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Intentionally left hanging out in the wind for the devil and the spirit of the age to corrupt, and then he does it.
And then made especially vulnerable by these, these drugs that are potentially altering their sense of reality.
Think that all those, my guess is My guess is that those drugs,
Yep.
this is going to be a little out there for some of our normal listeners. This is a little beers with Jesus spiritual maybe for you, but I believe that all the I shouldn't say this all the time. I you know how I'm a science denier, but but I still take Advil. So anyway,
hey, sometimes you just need some ibuprofen.
less than I used to. Now that I found some natural cures, but anyway, well, my point is that with all of this, we leave them open, and then and I think that those psychiatric drugs we're playing with things we don't understand.
Yeah.
We're playing with the spiritual realm, the psychological. I don't think we have any understanding of the psychological realm. I'm not sure that there's all that much difference between the psychological and the spiritual realm. Maybe we're entering into the same thing. You know what I mean? And so what happens is you give people these drugs for whatever reason. You don't like the way the boys are in class and you want whatever you do, don't think about changing your class or your preferred method of teaching people so they turn out like factory little like widget makers. No, just drug them. Make them so that they fit into your box.
Yeah.
But I think my guess is that frequently in these individuals, those psychiatric drugs are opening doors to entities and to influences that if we had any idea and any discernment, we would never want to open ourselves up to or our kids up to. What do you think?
I
Sound
agree
crazy?
No.
Where's my rattlesnakes?
Todd, I agree with you. And I think the key thing you started with is that when we talk about the psychological world, and the psychological effects of these things, spiritual world, all that, we're dealing with things that we don't understand. We say, okay, well, this drug, this drug can improve this kid's attention span during the school day.
Seems like it makes them more like what we want out of a kid.
Ooh, and I'm just saying, like,
he may not color, he may not draw, we may zap all his creative energies.
Yep.
But at least he's quiet in the government-run schools.
Right.
Right.
I mean, I'm just saying, I think, so that's the thing. It's very short term, and it's like, you don't really know what these things are doing.
No.
And I'm so glad you brought up RFK Jr. because I was going to ask you this week, like, I haven't really heard anything from him lately.
He's on it. There's just there's a lot of noise to break through. And so I think a lot of times they're out there and they're kind of doing their thing. I mean, he did fire multiple CDC heads or bigwigs this week. So he's actively doing what he can to bring the plague to America.
Oh my gosh.
That's what the mainstream media would have us believe.
Yeah, exactly.
It's RFK Jr. who really wants to destroy the country.
California.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right. I feel like he's the only one who's saying, let's like put the brakes on and let's like look out for our kids' well-being and therefore our country's well-being, our culture's well-being. I mean, he's just.
Here's some random.
You're right. We don't know, Todd. We don't know what this stuff's doing.
Here's some random guest on CNN talking about how the Minneapolis murders are a far-right narrative. I don't know.
Far-right narrative? Yeah. Oh, my God.
Well, this gets a little nuanced, and I teach a class on this in Georgetown. This individual appears to be what we call...
He teaches a class in Georgetown, so this is our authority right here, guys. Yes. The universities have direct portals into the demonic, I think. Hold on.
A nihilist. And not to get into too much detail about their ideology, they believe that no lives matter. I believe that calling this or investigating this as an attack against Catholics, I believe, is a little disingenuous, and it plays into the far right's narrative.
It's disingenuous. Hold on. This tranny kid shot up a Catholic church, a Catholic school. Church, whatever it was, because they were praying, doing mass, right?
They were in church.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So they're in the chapel, whatever it is.
Yeah.
He sprayed 120 bullets, rounds into this building, but investigating this as an attack on Catholics. Oh God.
It's disingenuous.
The level of gaslighting here is just
guy's an idiot. Okay.
Christians being under attack in this country. Clearly, since this person went to this school, it appears to be, and we don't know their background. But I think that we're starting to see the creepings of the politicization of this tragedy. And you'll start seeing that more and more. I've already seen that online from some lawmakers. But with that said, I appreciate any hate crime to be investigated as an act of domestic terrorism, so long as it's within the scopes and the reasonability of the law, and really meets the purposes of what we're looking to do in terms of the.
So long as those MAGA white supremacists aren't the ones doing the investigation.
Yeah.
We can't have
and so
that.
long as they're the ones who come out looking bad. Oh my gosh.
I will tell you, and I think I've probably gone on this rant before, that I hate the word hate crime. I think it's retarded.
Yeah.
Everything about it, I think, is retarded.
Mm-hmm.
It's not it doesn't matter who you kill. There's some semblance of hatred there. So
Yeah.
I'm not really worried about the emotions that were in your mind as you pulled the trigger. I think that we need to have laws based on what people do, not on how they feel and think. That seems crazy to me.
Yeah.
So
I don't think the penalties, the offense is any bigger if it's killing a Catholic versus killing a Jew or killing an atheist on the street.
What if this tranny kid was in love with some teacher at this school and just decided to spray it up because he's crazy? Does that make it not a hate crime? No, the whole thing is insane. Everything about this hate crime, it's just stupidity.
But conversely, I do think to say that this is not targeting Catholics,
it's insane.
Targeting Christians is insane to say that.
How about you just treat it like a crime?
Yeah.
And then you start to look at all the other school shootings around and you start to say, wait a tick. Turns out, if we give these hormone and puberty blockers, if we actively affirm their delusions, we end up with delusional, violent people. That's what we end up with.
Yeah.
Because they're crazy.
Now, did he say this kid did go there in the past?
He did go there in the past. His mom taught there in the past, which is interesting. There's some weird things too with the shooter's mom.
Really?
And this is not played out yet. So she took off, first of all, she won't talk to anybody. She already retained an attorney. That may or may not be wise given the nature of what we're dealing with. But what was weird, I'm trying to find it here. I feel like I lost it, but she took off, when the FBI goes to find his parents, she's at the airport getting ready to haul ass somewhere. It was very, very, very strange, but they don't know why. It's just, and then there's other weird things about her. The Minneapolis shooter, Robin Westman's mom, it was Robert, not Robin, Jake Tapper. Yeah. She once starred, this is so strange.
Okay.
So this tranny's mom, she worked at that school. She was a big lefty, but she did work at the Catholic school for a while. And then there's this headline. Minneapolis shooter Robin Westman's mom once starred in a film directed by daughter she gave up for adoption. The mother of transgender Minneapolis mass shooter Robin Westman once appeared in a movie by her daughter, who she gave up for adoption as a child. And then she ran off. She was trying to leave I don't know where she was trying to go to, but she was at the airport when the FBI comes and gets her. It's just. And of course they're not releasing anything. You know what I mean? They don't want to. And
was she just taking a trip?
I don't think that it was just taking a trip. It wasn't presented that way. It was. I don't know what's going on here. This is a very with the parents and things. This is a very strange. Because, normally they show up at the parents' house and then the family says, oh, my God, he wore black and had a lot of guns, but I didn't see this coming. You know what I mean?
I'm just thinking maybe she was taking a trip and her son, was like, hey, this is the perfect day to go.
There's weirdnesses out there is all I know.
I'm going to pack up my stuff and head to the school.
We're going to keep a sharp eye on it, folks, because I don't know what's going on. There's some even stranger weirdnesses in this one than there have been in other ones, and I don't think we're just on the front end of it, so I don't think that we know, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Or at least it hasn't been released to us.
Yeah.
This I don't. This guy wants to create a whole new branch of the military where returning veterans protect schools. I just don't understand. You know, anytime anybody's response is we need another government entity, I think no, we don't. That's not the answer.
Right.
George W. Bush and Homeland Security. No, that's not the answer. I don't. And then this guy, this seems crazy to me too, but this is the kind of thing people want. So this guy is he's developing an artificial intelligence called Gideon that kind of combs everything to get these shooters before they go out and shoot. Let's hear what he has to say.
I like that.
He used to work with Israeli intelligence, I think. I can't find the guy's name right this second.
I want to hear this.
I am now about to launch Gideon, America's first ever AI threat detection platform built specifically for law enforcement. It scrapes the internet 24/7 using an Israeli-grade ontology to pull specific threat language and then routes it to local law enforcement. It's a 24/7 detective. It never sleeps, and it's going to get us in front of these attacks.
Would it have picked up on this, do you think?
100%. I wish my program would already be up. We're not launching until next week. I've got a dozen agencies on board, Trace. I just unloaded a major Northeast agency with over 2,700 sworn. This is America's early warning system.
What do you think, Harry?
Well, I like it.
You like it?
I do, provided that these troubled people are, posting stuff occasionally. And I mean, if it's all like written in a handwritten journal under the bed or in the gun locker.
I don't like any of this surveillance state stuff. All of it seems like moving closer to the Terminator to me, or closer to Minority Report.
You know why else I like it? Why else I like it? Because parents, maybe they're just blind. Maybe they just love their kids and don't want to think that their kids would, ever do anything like this.
Or maybe they're satanic and sacrificing their own kids.
It could be. It could be that the parents are as delusional as their kids. And that's partially
that's very possible.
They fed it. So here's the thing. While, of course, surveillance in general, you know how I feel about it.
I know. I wondered if the dead Catholic school kids would tug at your heartstrings enough to sign up. And it sounds like they have.
I just think I think that.
I mean, if you were this guy with this program, this is the best thing that could have happened to you this week.
Oh, it's terrible.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Yeah. But I absolutely love the idea that there's something out there that can pick up on, I mean, it's kind of like our high school, for example. Our high school asks people, hey, if you see anything, like you see a kid posting on social media saying anything that hints of a threat, just let us know. You're relying on people to overcome all of their feelings, their hesitations of getting involved. They don't want to be overreactive. You don't want it to open up and have people be paranoid about everything, but you're relying on too many emotional factors. Heck, get an AI on there. Get an AI platform out there that can pick up on things that are going to I think it's a good idea.
I still think the answer to mass school shootings is to arm teachers. And you don't have to arm all of them. Offer them, teachers are always bitching about how much they get paid. So offer them, I don't know, an extra $6, like a coach. I don't know how much coaches make, but say they make an extra $6,000 for coaching, whatever it is. I don't know what it is.
Sure.
Pay them an extra $6,000 a year if they want to carry. They want to get trained. They want to carry. They want to do the whole thing. And if you get half, if you get 30, 40%, that's all you need. And I promise you these things will stop. You know why this kid went to that one? Because it was a gun-free zone. Imagine.
Oh, well, and I wanted to know why there was no security to get in. And I guess I'm they were in the church.
I don't know where I don't know enough of the details. I didn't know if he sprayed from outside or if he came in. I wasn't sure what happened.
Okay.
I really don't. Do you know? Did he go inside?
I don't know.
I don't either. I didn't. I, for some reason, just pictured this guy spraying the outside of a church, and then shooting himself out in the parking lot. I'm not saying that's what happened. That's for some reason, the image I had in my mind, but I may not be right. Maybe he got in. I just thought he'd have killed more than 2 kids if he got in. You know what I mean? I felt like
17 injured?
Yeah, and I felt like that seemed like, well, maybe if you were spraying outside, you might, you know what I mean?
Maybe.
I just feel like if you were inside, it seems like you'd have.
What kind of gun was it? Do you know?
I don't know.
I just think too that a church, a Catholic church can be really big. And if it's a small school, they can just only take up like the front part. And if
Yeah.
you walked in the back and maybe.
No, you could well be right. I'm not saying he wasn't
I don't
inside.
know.
He may have been. I didn't.
So awful.
I had to find out what exactly went on.
Absolutely terrible.
But I do think that.
But
I thought
he
that
killed
forever. I
himself
thought, yeah.
afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I actually went through and read his, what would you call it? It was like 4 pages, like a suicide note kind of thing.
Okay.
I mean, I guess that's what it was.
Did it have any of the demonic gibberish in it?
Didn't have that.
Okay.
It was
super
just
creepy.
You know what it felt like? It felt like I was reading. I really think that it's demonic possession that is taking over these kids.
Okay.
That's what because what it felt like I was reading is someone who most of the time was tapping into his still remaining rational self.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? But then would just
Sure.
have these things like, but I just have to, I can't take it anymore. Or I just got to do you know what I mean? And I know that you guys are going to be hurt. Please know I always loved you. But it was just, how would I describe it? There was
Like a tug of
there was a
war?
double-mindedness there was a
tug of war?
double-mindedness about the whole thing. You know what I mean?
Wow.
That just, it seemed to me like someone kind of given over to something who was still trying to tap into and tell his family and friends, I wish I know all this is going to ruin your life, but I wish it wouldn't. It's that kind of a thing.
It's awful.
And so I read the whole thing. Now they took it down instantly. You know what I mean? Because God forbid the people are able to connect the dots that these were all
I know.
trans shooters hopped up on hormones and puberty blockers and everything else.
If this kid, if this kid were a MAGA kid,
oh, it would have been all over.
We would know everything about him. We would have pictures and journal entry. Like, it would be everywhere.
But if he tried to kill the president, we wouldn't know anything about him ever. Right now, we have no idea what happened to Thomas. What was the name? Cooks? Something?
I don't know. Something. Was he also trans?
No, he was not.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
I don't know what's going on out there, folks. Looks to me like some kind of a combination of the deep state and the demonic realm, which that wouldn't surprise me at all.
And the irresponsible media.
Yeah. Parents that have bought into well, I don't know. I don't know on his parents. Like I say, there's some weirdness out there. We got to sort through and see. We got to hear more, and they don't want to tell us anything. So just sit back. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
Just another gun went off. We don't know how.
Since none of my liberal friends listen to this, I'm going to say this.
I'll put it out and tag you on it on Facebook.
Oh my gosh.
No, I'm just kidding.
But honestly, after this conversation, I think if a parent sees traces of this happening in their young children, I think the first thing you ought to do is take that kid in to a priest to perform an exorcism.
That's not a bad idea, Carrie. I mean, yeah, something. Priest, pastor, something.
Yeah, definitely. Just like I would be covering that kid. I'd be like rebaptizing.
Covering his room in crucifixes. They're all turning upside down.
Covering him in prayer is what I mean.
No, 100%.
Prayer. And I think
don't affirm and don't give them drugs.
Yeah. Yikes. Wow. But yeah, pray for your kids. Pray. I mean, and we pray for our country,
It's our kids out there.
But wow.
It's a war zone out there for them. This is in Minnesota. They affirm trans people. This is what it turns into. Isn't it also Minnesota where they had the patron saint of peaceful fentanyl overdose. Like he just, he would overdose on fentanyl and it was fine and everybody loved him and they built statues to him and then somehow he died. I can't remember his name. Anyway.
I forget that was there.
Minnesota's beautiful, land of 10,000 lakes or 10,000 loons. I don't know.
How's Tim Walz doing?
Oh, this guy. I didn't even he's such a moron. The mayor, they're all idiots. I mean, you could, if you wanted to line up the idiotic sound bites of these people after this trans shooting, it's a list as long as you are. It's just like,
was it like the mayor? Was it the mayor who was?
Yeah, I had him,
out
and I
there
thought
talking.
you're just a moron. I can't listen to you.
It's really bad. It's really bad.
In other news,
yes.
Remember Stephen A. Smith? The Democrats are still imploding. Is the other news?
Okay, gotcha. Stephen A. Smith is the sportscaster who wants to get into politics, possibly, or someone speculated.
People talk about it. I think only because he sounds halfway rational. I think it's the same thing with Bill Maher. People look at these people and they think, oh, they're liberals, but they're halfway rational. And so there's like hope springs eternal. You know what I mean?
Yes, I understand.
So here he is and making a decent point as a Democrat. And you aren't going to find a lot of those out there. So let's hear what he has to say.
Here's the deal.
Oh, he's with Bill Maher, too.
The man was impeached twice. He was convicted on 34 felony counts. And the American people still said, he's closer to normal than what we see left. That's what they're saying. He's closer to normal. Why? Because something that pertains, when you talk about the transgender community, for example, and you're talking about the issues that pertain to less than 1% of the population, the Democratic Party came across as if that was a priority more so than the other issues. And so he comes into office. Now you're talking about childbirth, citizenship, and what have you. He knows.
Is he talking about the trans people?
But he knows that he made that promise. So
did I miss my guns?
One on Capitol Hill, and he says this is what we're going to do through an executive order, even though it's going to be shot down through the courts and what have you. He's saying, I kept my promise. A lot of other things that he's going to point to that he's going to try to do. I kept my promise. Then you turn around and you look at the left and you say, what promises did you keep? Now, you might know the answer to that. I'm certainly not questioning your knowledge about that at all. What I'm saying is what resonated with the voter. What voter out there can look at the Democratic Party at this moment in time and say, there's a voice for us, somebody that speaks for us, that goes up on Capitol Hill and fights the fights that we want them fighting on our behalf. They didn't do that. And that's why their behinds are home, and that man is back into the White House, and they want to sit up there and talk. You look at the networks right now, they're talking about, look at it, this is the latest, look at him, here he goes again. Well, you know what here he goes again means? He's doing what he said he was going to do. He promised you he was going to do these things, and he walked into office week one, and that's exactly what he's doing. And he's saying, y'all do something about it. And when you try to do something about it, he's going to say, look at them now. Now they're concerned about these issues. Were they talking about that during the campaign? Hell no. That's really it. Yeah.
What do you think, Carrie?
Well, he's making a lot of sense. He's really concise about it, but I don't think he sounds happy about it.
No, he's not happy.
And it makes me wonder, because if he's that rational, what in Trump's platform is he opposed to?
Oh, I'm sure lots of things.
Does he not like a secure border and, no wars? Gosh, that sucks.
He likes open season on Catholic praying kids. That's what he likes.
Yeah, apparently.
That's
well, it didn't sound to me like he was defending. I think he was saying it was crazy for them to latch on to that as this huge issue when it's not.
Yeah.
Tiny little.
Well, the other problem, the problem the Democrats have is Trump, he went into D.C. and he's actually cleaning up crime. He's actually cleaning up this city that the Dems have said, forever, they just need more money and we need more free childcare and we need more school lunch and we need school breakfast, and then they'll stop shooting each other.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of what they were saying. So Trump is also threatened, I guess we'll say.
Okay.
Don't threaten me with a good time. Threatened to go bring the federal government into Chicago and make it livable again.
Okay.
Make it a beautiful city on a gorgeous Lake Michigan, with a beautiful riverfront, everything else.
Chicago's a cool city if, you can survive it.
If you can survive the crime. Well, this is Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson, happens to be an African American.
Okay.
And he doesn't think that arresting violent criminals does reduce crime. He thinks that
Okay.
As the mayor of this city, I can tell you that Chicagoans are not calling for a military occupation. They are calling for the same thing that we've been calling for some time, and that's investment. What safe cities across America all have in common, they invest in people, and that's what we're doing in Chicago. We need the federal resources to make sure that we're building more affordable housing, expanding mental and behavioral health care.
This is what they need in Chicago.
He's like, we want more money for it into Chicago.
All of
I wonder how much of it he's going to get. You know what I noticed, Todd?
That was live on the streets of Chicago.
I was listening to last week's show, and I was listening to us talk about Bolton and the possibility, the stash. And I was thinking, you know what? You know what the Democrats get into office, and I think all of the people kind of pull in their friends are like, listen, the pay is only this, but the side gigs are really
Believe
lucrative.
the pennies, baby.
Right? And I just think, this guy, investment. Yeah, I wonder how much of that, new government investment into the expansion of affordable housing is going to go into this guy's next affordable
Do not
house.
come to Chicago.
That could reduce crime and provide real community safety. Instead of spending hundreds of millions of dollars for a publicity stunt to invoke chaos and terror, the federal government should spend that money on proven solutions to address gun violence in our city.
Okay, all right.
I'm okay invoking
keep
fear
expecting
in the
him-
hearts of criminals, aren't you?
Here he is with this is with Joe Scarborough, and this is Mayor
CNN?
Mayor Brandon Johnson.
Or is it-
No, PMSNBC.
PMSNBC.
Joe Scarborough. He's the one who remember he killed his fiance in Florida or something. I don't know exactly what he did. You guys are gonna have to look into that.
I don't know about that.
There's some shady stories down in Florida with Joe Scarborough when he was a young whippersnapper. But I'm just pointing out some news stories that are out there. Who knows?
Okay.
Unsolved mysteries, maybe.
Okay.
Here's Joe going after Mayor Brandon.
Would you also like to get federal funding to help put 5,000 more cops on the street in Chicago? Would that help drive down crime?
Well, look, policing by itself is not the full strategy.
No, I understand
What
that.
we've said-
You've talked about the other things you want, and I said those are good and important programs, but I'm asking also, would 5,000 more police officers on the street in Chicago be helpful to go along with all of those social programs that a lot of cities are engaging in and having success with?
Well, look, here's the best way I can put it, Joe, is that in the 90s when I was in high school, we had 3,000 more police officers and we had 900 people being murdered every single year in Chicago. It's just not policing alone. Of course, we want more detectives.
I know it's not policing alone, but I know it's not policing alone. You've told me everything else you want. I'm curious, and this
What's the sound of a Chicago sunrise?
An ideological difference between people.
It's a beautiful day to watch the sunset on Lake Michigan.
The streets of Chicago would be safe.
This guy, these people, this is what I mean. They're not serious. They're not, even Joe Scarborough is like, are you saying that more police, you don't need more police to deal with the crime? No. We had more police.
No, of course not.
Oh.
Well, you know what? If that's not the issue, then it's your judges there are letting everybody back out on the street the next, within the hour.
It's unbelievable. Meanwhile, Trump's out there just winning. Here's Scott Bessent. Remember him? The Commerce Secretary.
Yeah.
Not Commerce. Secretary of Treasury.
Okay.
Lutnick, I think, is the Commerce Secretary. This is Scott Bessent talking about tariff revenue is nearing $500 billion.
Yep.
I think we're going to see a bigger jump from August to September. So I think we could be on our way well over $500 billion, maybe towards the $1 trillion number. This administration, your administration, has made a meaningful dent in the budget deficit. The average budget deficit during this term is 26% less than the last 12 months under Biden.
That's something, right?
Wow.
He's making a difference. He goes on with more numbers. We don't need the numbers.
That's awesome. Yeah. You're saying, meanwhile, Trump's actually making a difference.
Yeah. Here's J.D. Vance making a little bit of sense about public safety. This is our vice president.
I happen to believe that maybe the most sacred thing that we can deliver to American workers is the ability to live safely and comfortably in their own neighborhoods. Public safety is not just something that should belong to the wealthy. It should belong to every working man and woman in the United States of America. And
oh, gosh.
Period.
That is happening.
Now the devil's messing up my lives.
You yourself talked about the inflation
Not today, Satan.
He's 100% right.
Get behind me, Satan.
Go get him, JD. Now, how about this? This is this we've talked about. This is Steve Bannon on War Room. He's going to give you a little update on who Republicans are supporting for 2028.
Dave Weigel, the great Dave Weigel at Semaphore, breaking a big story, the lead story over at Semaphore. Wait for it. Republican voters now 53-47 support President Trump running for a third term. I kid you not. Told you this day was coming. Of course. That's how we're connecting Natalie Allison's.
Oh my gosh.
You know, I was at church a week or two ago, and we were outside after church and trying to dodge the bullets from the tranny shooters. But we meet in a public middle school, so there's some camouflage. They don't really know we're there.
Oh, gotcha. A public middle school lets you guys meet there? That's interesting.
Weird, I know.
Wow.
My nephew, he's in 7th grade or 8th grade. Easton is his name. And we were out there talking. I was talking with, I don't know, Brandon, whoever. And he says to me, what do you think about Trump maybe running for a third term? They're talking about that. You know, he's like 7th or 8th grade. And I gave him my opinion, which was I am all for it. I think, to me, that the constitutional amendment clearly was referring to consecutive terms. It was written in response to FDR winning 4 terms in a row. I don't think it was talking about somebody winning one, sitting out one, winning another. You know what I mean? Now that hasn't been sorted through by Congress and the Supreme Court and whatever. But yeah, I do. I think it only makes sense to me that would be the case. So plus he lost the 2020 thing, you know, to what's going to be clear cheating and rigging and treason. So yeah, I'm all for it. What do you think?
I didn't know that about the restriction, so I have to think about it.
Well, it doesn't say that clearly.
I would like, I loved what Trump's doing. I really do. But I think I would like him not to run again, but I would like him to be really involved in.
You want to be like the Godfather?
Promoting. Yes.
JD comes and talks to him,
like
and he's
JD.
like, Monday, Thursday.
I'd like JD to run next. Also, I think Trump's old.
That was Nikki's response. My wife's response.
I mean, isn't he like 78?
He's older.
70.
I don't know how old Trump is. I will say this: he appears to be ageless to me.
He is 79.
And in my opinion, if he continues to be ageless, let him go.
Yeah, here's the thing. He seems ageless. He presents as ageless, but he's 79. He's going to be over 80. Nope. Let the man retire in peace, go do a rally. I'm sad that I've not been able to attend a rally with him. I'm in Florida, and now that he's, got such great support in Florida, he just doesn't really.
He doesn't do as many down there, yeah.
Doesn't do as many, but
we're a swing state up here, so we get the Trump rallies.
Yeah. Like we used to be. He came through Florida a couple times. Anyway. So.
I do not believe. I think Trump's going to run for a third. Well, I'll say this: if Trump runs for a third term, nothing else matters because JD, nobody's going to challenge him.
Well, and I'm guessing
except maybe the courts. They're challenging him on everything.
Yeah,
he would. And I think JD would benefit from another 4 years under Trump. And then I'd love to see JD take over because I'm looking at like a 32-year run here for MAGA.
Here's what I think too. JD is just at the very beginning under Trump.
Yep.
So in a few years,
he's great.
He's going to be. He's on the right side of the issues.
I know there's no Trump. There's no other Trump. There isn't.
There's
more Trumps. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
And I expect we'll see them in years to come. Maybe Eric or Don Jr. or whoever. But
I really like JD. I think is just he's such a smart guy.
He is.
He can
I
run
love JD.
circles verbally, can run circles around anybody he's up against, and I love that.
Fabulous choice as a successor, and somebody he can mentor up. Love it all.
Yeah.
Love it all.
Love it
In
all.
fact, JD made a good point. I got this clip. I was going to save it till later, but let's go with this. I've been talking about this.
Can you hold that thought?
You want to get a?
I was just going to say, what did your nephew think about? What Easton?
He was
think about
interested
him
in it. I think he hadn't heard that there could be some debate about whether it's consecutive terms or not.
Okay.
Because they probably don't teach that in schools and whatever.
No, I think we've always been told you're only allowed to have two.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. That's pretty much it.
And I think too. I think the unspoken word, the understood word there was consecutive. It is not written in the constitutional amendment. I will say that. So I can understand the disagreement. It just seems to me, knowing the history and from whence that sentiment came that we got this constitutional amendment, seems to me like it was talking about they didn't want somebody running 4 consecutive terms like Roosevelt.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Got it. Okay.
So
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just wanted to.
Let's see here. I want to make sure this is the right. Oh no, this is it. Sorry, I was about to play the wrong JD clip. I got a couple JD clips. Maybe we'll play JD clips for a little while. He's sane. He's not demon possessed. He's on the right side of life.
Exactly.
Fighting for us.
Why did housing get so unaffordable for American citizens? 2 big problems. Number one,
so he's talking about housing. And we talk about rent prices. How did housing get so wildly out of control? And he's going to make some good points.
Why did housing get so unaffordable for American citizens? 2 big problems. Number one, I already talked about, interest rates were too high. Number 2, you had way too many people in this country who were competing against American citizens for scarce homes. And that's the illegal immigration problem. Why has housing leveled off over the past 6 months? I really believe the main driver is you've had negative net migration into the United States for the first time in 60 years in this country. You cannot flood the United States of America with 20, 30, 40 million people who have no legal right to be here, have them compete against young American families for homes and not expect the price to skyrocket. It's as simple as supply and demand. You increase the demand, you're going to increase the price.
What do you think? You agree?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, 100% I do. I think that's... Well, there's a combination. You've got a lot of rentals being eaten up by like BlackRock and your big, but still, I think the purpose of that is the supply. And what I think happened is that they were so enmeshed with the deep state, these massive funds and everything else, that they knew that the plan was to throw open the floodgates, and they knew exactly how they were going to profit off it. And that's exactly what they've done. So I'd like to see them broke up. And
Definitely.
and some things put in place to protect individual renters. But I agree with JD. Bottom line, it's a supply and demand issue. And you start now that affects the regular home market too, the home sale, the buying and selling, the not just the rental market. And it affects, it's the same thing. It's supply and demand. So you begin to reduce that supply, then you're going to see prices come down. You're going to see the rents are going to be more elastic. They're going to respond faster.
I hope so.
But,
I heard in all likelihood that interest rates are going to be lowered in September.
Yes, I heard the same. I believe that's going to be the case.
And I wanted to ask you, like, what will that do? Like, how quickly? Like, what will that do, and how quickly will that happen? Do you think?
I think the biggest thing it's going to do is it's going to free up a lot of people right now are stuck in their homes with a 2 or 3% mortgage. And so what happens is for them now they look at it and housing prices have gone up, and this mortgage that they have, that's a $200,000 mortgage. Now they're saying their house is worth $430,000.
Yeah.
So they've got all this equity there, but the only way for them to get a hold of that is a home equity loan. But a home equity loan has 8% interest rates on it right now.
Yeah.
So,
and then you take out all the equity you have in your house.
Right. So you could lower that and you could get at it. If it's a 5% home equity loan, more people are going to be taking them out. More people are going to be spending money. That's going to help the economy. But the other thing it's going to do is if you can get rates down to 4 or 5%, all of a sudden it's a lot more palatable for people to sell the house that they have this equity in, because remember, they got to go replace it somewhere. And what they're going to replace it with is going to be comparable in price to what they gained in equity on their house. And they just need to be able to get into a decent mortgage. And all of a sudden, you're going to have a lot more transactions going on. And all of a sudden, you're going to have more house sales, more people building everything, more furniture sales. Everything starts going up once housing takes off. I still don't think there's enough. The reason I say that I think you'll see it in rent is because rent's more elastic. You can feel it faster. I don't think there's enough builders to increase the house supply enough. You know what I mean?
Right. It'll take a while.
We're still struggling with that. But still, reducing the supply of illegal immigrants would help. Here's more JD. I'm not sure. This is only a 30-second clip. Let's see. I'm not sure what he's talking about.
I think the migration issue really is the root of what went wrong during the Biden administration. By the way, it's why the Democrats are so obsessed with it. If you ask yourself, like, what does the modern National Democratic Party believe in? What do they fight most aggressively for? They fight most aggressively to continue to flood the United States with millions and millions of low-wage immigrants. The fact that that is the reason for existing for the Democratic Party should make all Americans sort of step back and say, what the hell is wrong with these people?
So, yeah, I listen, I love JD. That was my whole point in playing those. I already had them set up, and I wanted you to know that I do love JD, and I would not be opposed at all.
Yeah.
Love the idea of JD being a nominee. So, but I mean, if Trump's still going strong, if Trump's willing to go, I say we take advantage of Trump. But it's just what I think. I think we know what we got in Trump. And Trump's he's not once in a lifetime. He's once in a generation. I can't think of anybody like him. That could do what he's doing, and that would have the courage, like tariffs. I mean, all these things. The experts laughed at the idea, and he keeps being right on everything. In fact, this is Stephen Miller talking about the Democrats.
Look, we discussed this last time I was on your show. The Democrat Party does not fight for, care about, or represent American citizens. It is an entity devoted exclusively to the defense of hardened criminals, gangbangers, and illegal alien killers and terrorists. The Democrat Party is not a political party. It is a domestic extremist organization. Look at Chicago. They've shut down the police department. They've handcuffed law enforcement, and as President Trump says, they have turned the streets of Chicago into a bloody killing field. Here in Washington, D.C., before President Trump launched the federal law enforcement liberation in D.C., there was a murder on the streets of this town every other day.
That's insane.
Body after body after body after body. That was Washington, D.C. Residents were afraid to go to restaurants. They were afraid to go into entire neighborhoods. They were getting carjacked right and left, robbed and beaten. That was Washington, D.C. Now we're 2 weeks homicide free, the safest the city has ever been in its entire history. And the Democrats, instead of jumping up and down and saying, thank you, President Trump, thank you for saving our lives, thank you for saving our cities, thank you for scrubbing away all the graffiti, the trash, the homeless encampments, the druggies, instead of cleaning up the city, instead of thanking him for that, they're saying, President Trump, how dare you save our lives? How dare you save our children? How dare you save our city? The Democrat Party, Sean, that exists today, it disgusts me.
Whoa. He's hardcore.
See, it does, like, they hate him so much that they can't even see straight.
I know. This is where they want us to live.
I mean, you know what they could say? They could literally come out and be like, hey, listen, we don't agree on a lot of issues with this guy, but thank goodness, like, our streets are safer. They can't even say it.
Nope.
And I don't even think it crosses their mind.
No. Although reality is starting to intrude. This is an ex-liberal, just man on the street kind of thing.
Okay.
This is an ex-liberal from California kind of going off on Gavin Newsom.
I can't understand how anyone would vote for Gavin Newsom. He's like clearly a sociopath and I was thinking about this today. Imagine rising to the position of governor of California, the 6th largest economy in the world, one of the most beautiful places in the world, and having your legacy be that you created a crime-ridden, bankrupt shithole. This place had a surplus.
Hard to argue with.
So that would disqualify, like Gavin Newsom would not be employable in the private sector with that kind of performance. But
he's 100% right.
Continue to vote for this stuff. And I've thought about leaving multiple times, but I love it here. I don't want to. So I hope that this disaster might change things and wake people up. In 2016, I was like an anti-Trump person and was very upset when he was elected. And then I've changed tune very quickly after seeing him being smeared unfairly, seeing media coverage that's taken out of context, edited. The same standard doesn't apply to any Democrat politician like Gavin Newsom.
Wow.
Who had an affair with his best friend's
Pretty good, right?
wife, who was his campaign manager.
He had an affair with his best friend's wife?
In terms of character and all
Damn.
It's like the worst president in the history of this country and the most corrupt. It's like a criminal.
Yeah, you didn't know that about Gavin?
I did not.
Oh, yeah.
Now, is that while he was with Kim?
That's a good question. I don't think so. I think I can't remember all Gavin's wives and relationships.
I'm just curious because
I really can't.
That's great. I mean, that
he has
guy.
a tearful press conference of some sort, but
I hope that man on the street is one of many in California.
I do too. I don't know.
And what did he call it? A crime-ridden something?
Bankrupt shithole.
Bankrupt shithole. How sad. Because,
that's what it is.
I've never spent a lot of time in California, but I know from people who live there that, yeah, it's beautiful. They love it. And how sad.
It is beautiful.
And he's doing great. His side gigging is going well.
Who's that?
Gavin Newsom.
He's doing great. Yeah. He's got his wineries and he's got his
Democrat side gigs, man. I mean, they come out on top financially everywhere they go.
This is the Cracker Barrel co-founder. Remember we talked about Cracker Barrel last week?
Yes.
Now, I should point out on the front end, Cracker Barrel has caved on everything. The only thing they haven't done yet is fire their stupid white liberal chick CEO and marketing
with
person.
Her thick black glasses.
Yes, that I know of. She's not been let go yet, which is a travesty. But they got rid of their logo. They got rid of all their DEI pride stuff. I mean, they pretty much bowed the knee completely to their customers. It wasn't to Trump. No. It was to their customers. Imagine them responding.
As they should.
And this guy, I don't know how old he is. He's got to be in his 90s. This is an old guy.
Okay.
And he's one of the original co-founders of Cracker Barrel.
Okay.
This was before they caved that he's talking about what went on.
Oh, okay.
Logo rolled out the other day.
Oh, that's crazy. That's nothing. It's a bland nothing. It's pitiful.
Do you think she knows the story of Cracker Barrel?
I don't think so. I heard she was at Taco Bell, but what's Taco Bell know about a Cracker Barrel? And country food. And the food is something that they need to work on. Spending $700 million to do that is all I've been doing. I'm just throwing money out the street.
This is the guy. Imagine all his sweat, blood, and tears builds this company into what it is. And then, of course, you sell it and whatever. And then it just gets run into the ground by these woke liberal morons. You know what I mean?
That's a riot.
It's got to just kill you a little bit as a business founder with all that you've done. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it would still, even if you sold it, it would still feel like your baby out there.
Yeah, for sure. And then you watch them just systematically go about trying to destroy it. Like,
so nuts.
This is the real Slim Shady. He has some opinions.
A real Slim Shady? Oh, no.
Watching him play to his base that thinks that he cares about them, and it's actually the people that he cares about the fucking least. If you're talking about his core being
Trump,
a majority white middle class, what I don't understand is how in the fuck do you feel like you relate to a billionaire who has never known struggle his entire fucking life?
Slim Shady has some opinions.
Is that literally, that's what's his name?
Eminem.
That's Eminem talking?
That's Eminem. He doesn't understand how anybody can relate to Trump.
Okay.
He doesn't understand it at all.
Wow.
He doesn't understand how if you're living in Minnesota and this is the soundtrack of your life, Trump doesn't understand you at all. You need Amy Klobuchar and Tim Balls. That's unfortunate. It is unfortunate. I've never been an Eminem fan anyway, but
he's very talented.
I think I like a couple of his songs.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got a couple great ones, but I'm just like, wow.
It's these artists who think they get these like, oh, I've got opinions.
Yeah, but it's like, why are they all so liberal?
I don't know. I think this is the real Slim Shady.
Matter. And I am fighting for you. And I will not stop. I will not stop today. I will not stop.
She's on the tranny side.
Yeah.
She loves him.
I never understood in her rant, she when she's repeating.
It's the beginning that's the best.
We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love
the part I don't
trans
get is when she says, we need.
At least she's not shrill.
Shrill. You know what I don't get though? Every time I hear that, I run across that video, I think, what does she mean we need trans people? Like, what does that mean? I'm not being funny. Like,
who's going to shoot up praying Catholic kids if you don't have trans people? They're just going to grow into praying Catholic adults. We can't have that. They might vote for Trump.
I'm just, I just don't get it. Her saying we need them. It's like, why? Like, what do we need from, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's a weird thing to say. You can get out there and say, I love trans people. I support trans people. I'm an ally, whatever. You can say all that, but what does it mean we need trans people? Like, what does that mean?
I've said this multiple times that if you go back to the gay marriage debate, and I wasn't sure. We voted once in Michigan on gay marriage, and I think I voted against it.
Yeah,
it was a long time ago. But I will admit to going a little squishy on the issue as it moved on.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we ever voted on it again. But all the big conservative Christians, James Dobson, who just passed away, all these guys were like, listen, this is it. If you lose this one, if you open this door, everything comes through it. You are not ready for what comes through it. And I'm telling you that ever since then, I've thought they were right. I didn't necessarily think it at the time. I thought they were being a little alarmist. And then I watched it go directly to the trans thing, and I thought, I think they were right. I don't know why. I don't know why that was the...
I don't either, because I don't have a problem with gay marriage.
No, but do you agree with me that they seem to have been right? It seems to have transpired like what they said.
It has spiraled in a very unexpected direction, in my opinion, especially with kids and all that. Yes, I get it. So, yeah.
I don't know. All I'm saying is I give credit where credit's due when I look back and I think I wasn't sure about it at the time. I was always a little, having gone through Bob Jones and crazy Christian conservatism my whole life, I was always a little suspect of you got to keep the fence at the top of the hill or everything's just it's gonna be
right.
chaos after
you felt
that.
like it was alarmist.
I wondered about it, but I look at it now and think, it's hard to argue with what has happened. It's hard to say they were wrong because more than what they said would happen has happened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
I don't know what that means. I don't know where we go with it, but we cannot be, we have, see what we're in the position of doing is because and this is what they said, because we let that one go. So in other words, that bulwark is gone. that guardrail, let's call it.
Yeah.
We're rolling along the mountain road, and that guardrail we pulled off.
Yeah.
And because of that, now what we're trying to do is put up some guardrail halfway down the cliff and say, well, we can't deal with these trannies, but the bus is already flipping over. Do you know what I mean? And I wonder about it. I don't. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
See.
Don't
you think people are trying to slam the brakes on though, with the kids and the whatever? I think like that. I think that bus got rolling out of control, and I think a whole bunch of people were like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!" And I do feel like they're coming around on.
I'll tell you what I told Nikki last night.
Mm-hmm.
We were listening to something else, and I told Nikki, I said, this is what's going to happen because they pushed the pendulum so far.
Yep.
It is going to swing back, and it's going to swing back too far. That's always what it does.
Yeah.
It doesn't swing back to a balance. It's going to swing back all the way the other way.
Right.
And all of these things that they took for granted and things you're going to see, I expect we'll see the Supreme Court's not very reliable. I think you'll see Obergefell fall. I think you're going to see a bunch of things that people are going to be really upset about. And I'm just telling you, that's a natural reaction to when you take it too far the other way.
Yeah.
It just comes back hard and you can't stop it. You can't say, wait, let's stop right here in the middle. That's not how it works.
Right.
It may go back and forth and end up back in the middle, but it's going to go hard the other way.
Yeah. When you have crazy young parents saying, we're not going to declare the gender of our child when they're born, we're going to wait and see, like, we're going to let them choose. It's like, whoa. Like, it's gone a little out of the realm of reasonable and rational.
Yeah.
So, yep.
We'll see what happens.
People are going to swing the other way, like you said.
For sure. And we're going to see where it goes. There's going to be people that think, whoa, I didn't want it to go quite this far. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I may even be one of those people. Depends on what the topic is, depends on what it is. But I understand that it's coming back through. Like this is what history does. Is humanity doesn't have a very good track record of following right down the middle. I think it's Martin Luther who said that man falls first off one side of the horse and then he gets back up and falls off the other. Like he's not very good at standing up.
Did he say that?
Yeah, and that was kind of where he felt like the church would err on one side and then it'd get back up and then it'd fall and err on the other side.
Oh my gosh, that's such a great
and it's a pretty good point.
Yeah. Well said.
I expect that
I've
that's
never
what we're
heard
gonna
that.
see.
But
I know it's kind
isn't
of
that
funny.
the truth.
We seek for balance, but yeah. In our natural
we can all get
humanity, that's not where we get.
Todd, who knew that on the Wildly Opinionated News Hour, we would be a source of balance seeking? Like,
yeah, quoting Martin Luther.
My gosh.
Be careful. There's a lot going on outside Carrie's house right now.
At least it's not raining right now.
All right. Well, I think we did pretty good. What do you think?
Yeah, you covered a lot of stuff. Good job.
All right, guys. Check out the other show, Beers with Jesus, tomorrow. The other stuff I already told you about it. Rate us if you haven't rated us. If you're on iTunes, give us 5 stars, not 4. And
I know.
And on YouTube, you can like us, share us with friends. That's how we're going to grow. And come back, join us for Beers with Jesus tomorrow. It'll be fun. I think it'll be different than you expect a Jesus podcast to be.
Yeah.
Just
not
give
like
it a little time.
It's not like we read a story and then Todd preaches for a half hour.
No.
It's really not like that. We really relate to it on a very current human level, I think.
If this helps promo it, it seems like there's a lot of Christians out there even that don't like our podcast very much when they hear it. I might give a little history of that in the next one. So you might like it is the point if you're not one of them.
You might like it. Oh, that's funny.
All right,
I
Gary.
like it, Todd. I like
it too. What do you do? We're out there.
Thank you so
We're
much.
out there taking strays. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us today. We'll get you tomorrow with Beers with Jesus. Next week, we'll see what happens. Who knows?
See what happens. Stay safe.